The 10 most valuable post-war Lionel locomotives on this episode of Toy Train Tips and Tricks. Hello again, this is Mike with another episode of Toy Train Tips and Tricks. Many people outside the toy train hobby believe that old Lionel trains are synonymous with high values, that any Lionel locomotive from the 1940s or 1950s is worth enough to pay off your house, put your kids through school, or retire to Miami. But in most cases, this is simply not true. Even professional antiques resellers, like the crew from the American Pickers TV program, have made this common mistake. Instead, the value of any toy train, as with any object, is a matter of supply and demand. The item is worth what someone's willing to pay for it, and that willingness to pay, or value, is generally determined by three things: condition, rarity, for which age does play a part but not exclusively, and desirability. Sometimes an item is more valuable because, even though it's very common, one example may be in pristine or mint condition, whereas most examples are heavily played with and display the associated wear and tear. Other items are more valuable because they are truly rare. Maybe only a few were made, or they didn't sell well, and many end up repainted, repurposed, or even thrown in the trash to eliminate excess inventory. And some items may be common, but people just like them and want them, increasing their value. Lionel's number 671 steam turbines, for example, were cataloged for several years and are relatively easy to find, but their unique design and good operating qualities make them desirable to most collectors and operators, making them generally more valuable than comparable, rarer locomotives of the same period. All of these factors come into play when determining the value of a particular item. Each year, Firecrown Media, formerly Calmback Publishing, publishes a comprehensive price guide for Lionel trains, the Greenberg's Pocket Price Guide. This year's edition covers Lionel trains production from 1900 through 2024. Values are determined by surveying sales of the items on internet auction sites, large in-person auctions, various train shows, and other sources. These values are averaged to determine an estimate for what one might purchase an item for at a dealer or at a typical train show. These are not necessarily the values you might receive from selling an item, as dealers will have overhead costs and will have to leave room to resell the items for a profit. And of course, these values are ever-changing with market conditions. In fact, most of the items on this list have actually declined in value over the past 25 years, despite inflation. But with those disclaimers out of the way, what are the 10 most valuable locomotives made by Lionel trains in the post-war period, that is, between 1945 and 1969, according to the latest edition of the Greenberg's Pocket Price Guide? Oh, and these prices are for items in excellent condition by Train Collectors Association standards. According to the TCA, excellent means, quote, all original, minute scratches and paint nicks, no rust, no missing parts, and no distortion of component parts, unquote. Items in mint, sealed condition will of course be more valuable. Junk items will of course be less valuable. So, here's the list. First, an honorable mention goes out to the most valuable steam locomotive, according to the Pocket Guide. It should come as no surprise to seasoned Lionel collectors that this honor goes to the number 773 scale Hudson, the post-war reissue of the classic number 700E pre-war Hudson. In particular, the 1950 version of the 773 is prized with its valve gear guides cast into the steam chest and its number 2426W Lionel lines tender. The Greenberg Pocket Guide values this model at just over $1,300 in excellent condition. The 1994 edition listed this model for $1,000 in excellent condition, or about $2,100 today when adjusted for inflation. That means, of course, that our top 10 most valuable locomotives are all diesels and electrics. At number 10, we have the number 2338 Milwaukee Road GP7 diesel with the solid orange band. This 1955 model is prized not only because the solid orange band is the rare early production version of the model, but the Milwaukee Road Herald printed on the side of the diesel did not adhere well, so versions in excellent condition are difficult to find. Beware, though, the value of this model has resulted in the production of many fakes by unscrupulous collectors. If you have a genuine solid band number 2338, the latest guide places the value of just over $1,600 on it. The 1994 guide valued this variation at $1,800, or more than $3,800 in today's value. At number 9 on our list is a pair of locomotives, but they were marketed and sold as a pair, so we're allowing it. The pair in question is the number 2355 Western Pacific F3 diesels, as an AA-powered and dummy set. This 1953 set is a good-running, sharp-looking pair with a horn in the dummy locomotive. However, the silver paint tends to dull over time, and the logo on the nose is often found damaged, as with this example, again making excellent examples difficult to find. This year's guide places a value of just over $1,650 on this pair in excellent condition, compared to $1,800 or around $3,800 in today's dollars in the 1994 edition. At number 8 on our list is another set of F3s, this time the AA-powered and dummy number 2373 Canadian Pacific pair of 1957. These sharp-looking maroon and gray diesels come in two variations with either short or tall ladders on the side, but there's no difference in value between the variations. Once again, beware of fakes and reproductions of these popular diesels, which can usually be identified by silkscreen stripes and lettering. If you have an original set in excellent condition, the current guide estimates their value at $1,684 versus $2,000 in the 1994 guide, or more than $4,200 in today's dollars after inflation. At number 7 on our list is yet another set of F3 diesels, the number 2368 Baltimore and Ohio AB powered and dummy set of 1956. The A unit contains a battery and the horn, while the dummy B unit is just along for the ride. While the colors are sharp, the real B&O blue was much darker, but despite this, the popularity of these Lionel F3s kind of set the standard for the color scheme, and many O and even HO manufacturers were making models in this same incorrect color combination well into the 1970s. If you're lucky enough to have a set of these B&O beauties, this year's guide estimates their value at just over $1,900, compared to only $1,700 in 1994, but that's around $3,500 in today's currency. Coming in at number 6 on our list is a classic, groundbreaking model, the number 2332 GG1 of 1947, and in particular, the early 1947 version of the model in black instead of green. Look for rubber-stamped lettering and stripes to identify an original model, as most fakes and reproductions are silkscreened. Also, don't be confused by different shades of dark green used on the 2332. The black version truly is black, not dark green. In fact, many collectors doubted the existence of a truly black GG1 as recently as the 1980s, when several pristine boxed examples surfaced. If you're lucky enough to have an original black number 2332 in your collection, this year's guide estimates its value at around $1,970. Just about the same as its 1994 value, but that would be more than $4,100 in today's currency. Let's take a short break to ask that if you're enjoying this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about your thoughts about this list. What did they get wrong? What models do you think should be in the top 10? Now, back to our countdown. Coming in at number 5 on our list is the number 2341 Jersey Central Trainmaster from 1956. This big diesel features 2 motors and a horn, and its orange and blue colors are very popular with collectors and operators. Watch out for cracked screw holes on either end of the shell. This year's guide estimates the value of this model, in excellent condition, at just over $2,000, slightly above its 1994 price of $1,950, which would be about $4,100 today after inflation. Number 4 on our list looks very familiar because it's also a number 2341 Jersey Central Trainmaster, but in a high gloss finish instead of the usual dull finish. Be careful, as many fakes have been created by applying wax or clear sealant over a standard dull version. There are also reproductions on the market which can be identified by their screen-printed lettering instead of heat stamping on the original. The current pocket guide lists this model with a value of nearly $2,700, above its 1994 value of $2,250, but again, that's around $4,700 in today's dollars. Number 3 on our list is the highest valued electric locomotive on our list, the number 2350 New Haven EP5 locomotive of 1956 through 1958. The attractive orange, black, and white McGuinness scheme on this model makes all of the variations very desirable. Original models had a design flaw that often resulted in cracks at the end where the shell connected to the chassis. Lionel's stopgap solution was a sticker that covered these cracks. Many early models were later retrofitted with these stickers, so examples without cracks and without stickers demand a premium price. And this is especially true if the model also features a decorating mistake, in which the N in New Haven is orange instead of white, and the H is black instead of orange. This rare version, without stickers or cracks, has an estimated value of almost $2,800 in the current pocket guide, significantly higher than the $1,500 value of the 1994 guide, which again is about $3,100 in today's dollars, not much over its listed value. As always, beware of fakes and reproductions that will usually have silk-screened instead of original heat-stamped lettering. Number 2 on our list is the AA Powered and Dummy number 2023 Union Pacific Alco FA pair from 1950, Lionel's 50th anniversary year. The pair featured a handsome yellow and gray scheme with red lettering and stripes that was officially endorsed by the Union Pacific Railroad. Early production models also featured gray truck side frames and gray on the top of each locomotive nose. But Lionel had difficulty making this come out consistently and soon removed the gray except on the roofs of the diesels. Thus, the gray nose versions are rare and very desirable. In excellent condition, this year's guide estimates their value at $3,600 for the pair. The gray nose version was not listed in the 1994 edition, so no comparison can be made. Once again, beware of aftermarket gray painted fakes. And that brings us to number 1, the most valuable locomotive of the Lionel post-war era, the number 2347 Chesapeake & Ohio GP7 diesel from 1965. Surprisingly, this is the only uncatalogued model in our top 10 list, made exclusively for Sears, and only available in set number 12285-500, of which only 315 examples were made. Unlike Lionel's other C&O GP7, the number 2365, this model included a fuel tank and a horn, plus magnetraction and operating couplers at each end. Because of its rarity, this model is frequently forged. Again, look for heat-stamped lettering rather than the rubber-stamped or silk-screened of the reproductions. According to the current edition of the Pocket Price Guide, examples of this model in excellent condition are valued at nearly $4,200, making it the most valuable locomotive in Lionel's post-war era in today's market. In 1994, the model was valued at $2,775, or roughly $5,700 in today's inflated currency. So why have prices fallen relative to inflation since 1994? First, many baby boomer collectors who fueled the boom in post-war Lionel prices in the 1990s are at the point in their lives where they are selling rather than buying their trains. Secondly, 30 years of new train production means there are many more models available for collectors and operators today, diluting the market somewhat. While that's bad for those who collect trains as investments, it's good for hobbyists like me, for whom these classic models are more affordable than ever before. So, if you own one of these top 10 models, congratulations! Take good care of them so they will be available for future generations. As for the rest of us, whether valuable to collectors or only to us, keep the trains running, and we'll catch you next time on Toy Train Tips and Tricks.